Hey guys, welcome to nerdL.A.G episode 23. On today's episode, we are talking about the cinematic universe and how Hollywood is whoring itself out with that. We're going to talk about an old school WB cartoon that's coming back, and we're also going to talk about Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo and what the crap they're doing with their system. Join us today. Welcome guys to nerdL.A.G. I am actually your hosting today, Tien, and we have Zach.
Hey guys.
And we have Austin.
Hey, what's up?
And today we're going to just talk about what we always do, life, anime, and games. First topic today, Hollywood. Just taking the money and whoring themselves out with it.
So what are they doing?
Okay, we've seen how Marvel has done well with its cinematic universe, correct? It has.
Rather well.
How many movies does it have right now? Like at least a dozen, right?
Just in the Marvel?
And just Marvel, not even including X-Men, not including Deadpool.
Well, like the new ones, I think at least Iron Man, Captain America, Thor has his own. I think Thor's coming up. Guardians of the Galaxy. Who else do we have?
Avengers.
Well,
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man. Yeah,
that's true.
So
Ant-Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah, so that's at least a dozen movies they have for this cinematic universe so far.
All the numbers in the series,
and they're making at least a dozen more for the future. Black Panther, Doctor Strange, the next two part of Avengers. So they've built.
I think I heard Gambit is going to have one.
No, that's Fox's.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they have their own universe. It's built up by several movies, and honestly, we're okay with this because we've seen, like, it's actually told well enough that you will watch all the movies to connect all the pieces.
Mm-hmm. Now,
think about this. How many big producers like Paramount, like Lionsgate, are trying to find their own? DC, Warner Brothers.
I feel like it's more like they're trying to go back and recreate the classics than they are trying to find like new series.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because I mean, even the Marvel, they just took. They're trying to right now. They're doing like from the comic books.
Yeah,
they're making that entire universe.
Yeah,
it wasn't like new content. They just took old content and now made it new.
Yeah, and they're taking it and making it into a ton of movies instead of one singular movie that we're used to. Remember when we used to watch movies in the 90s or whenever? Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
That was a complete movie from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about like them like stopping halfway through and then coming out with another movie?
No, I'm talking about them making the whole thing. Like Jurassic Park as itself, as an original first movie, was good enough, right? Like it was good. It was good.
It was better than all the other ones.
Yes, but that's the thing. They made others. They tried making their own universe out of that.
It would have made sense if they continued with like the same cast, but they
did
well, in a way.
Like The Lost World, it was a sequel. Then they made a trilogy. There was supposedly a fourth one where they started. There was a fourth one that they want to take dinosaur DNA and combine it with humans. That didn't come out.
What?
So we get the villain for Amazing Spider-Man.
And then they revamped their universe with Jurassic World, which did quite well. So now there's a Jurassic universe in that way.
Did you guys get to go see Jurassic World?
No, I
did. It was so good.
Okay, it was?
I liked it because of nostalgia. Just because it brought me back to the fact that I was like, this is what I've been missing.
I was going to go see it, and I haven't got to go see it yet.
But you see what it did there. And now you want to see a sequel. Now you want to build that universe. DC's trying that. They had Man of Steel. They have to make new Batman movies. They're going to make a Wonder Woman movie, Aquaman movie.
If they're doing Batman and like Spider-Man and stuff like that, they just need to stop showing the same story. They need to move on. I've seen so many renditions of the beginning of how Spider-Man started. Just keep going with it.
How many Godzilla movies we're seeing?
I'll tell you that they are going to do. No, let's not. Okay, give me a minute to organize this. Spider-Man is getting its own movie called Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
The movie is actually going to do a continuation of where he was in the Captain America. And it's going to include Iron Man. It's going to show him what he's doing now from that point on. So it's not going to do a complete origin story. And it's weird because Melissa Tomei is his aunt. It's the hot aunt idea, so people are confused. Now, what was the thing you brought up?
Oh, I was just laughing.
Godzilla. That's a whole universe in itself, but that's a classical one. We can't argue because that built up. And they're going to do a new Godzilla movie. It's coming from Toho, from the original creator. It's supposedly coming out the end of this year.
That's nuts because they just had one a year or two ago.
And people worry because then people can't tell the difference because it's going to be more towards how they do it with the.
Okay, so like what year was that? Was it like 2000 when that Godzilla movie came out?
Which one? The crappy one?
Well, I thought it was
one
great.
With, like, the
You
stadium.
thought the one with
it too.
hold on. You thought the one with Matthew Broderick?
I'm bad with actors and
I
with
don't
those
know.
movies.
The one that had the thinner.
Where they're taking the jets through the city.
Yeah, and they laid eggs in the stadium.
Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry.
You thought that was good?
I thought it was.
I liked it.
I mean, I was also 10 years old at the time.
So it might have been an age thing.
Yeah, that, and you have to think. Well, this is one of
And
those.
that was like the first Godzilla movie I ever saw.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow,
yeah.
you've never seen like
Actually, once I think about it, I think literally that and Mothra is the only other movie.
Godzilla wise?
Yeah.
Man, you sad. Like because it's sort of that weird thing when you watch old school Godzilla. You see it, you know it's a guy in a suit. You know that it's all scale, but just watching it is so much better. And then when they CGI the crap out, it's like when Jurassic Park. I'll use that example because it's a perfect one. When you watch this Jurassic World, how real did you think those dinosaurs were? You see, you took a breath there. You took a breath.
When you say real, it's like
Yeah.
in terms of
Okay. Compared to Jurassic Park, like, do you think you could have with Jurassic Park? You could have touched.
So which CG was better is what you're asking?
No, well, with Jurassic Park, it used very little, like 20% in Jurassic Park was CG.
Because they used more like...
They built
models,
everything
the
was
models.
practical.
And that's what I think movies nowadays are doing wrong. They need to go back and build their stuff. Like back in the day, like the movie Little Monsters. You guys remember that movie?
I do.
I freaking love that movie.
Which one's that one?
It's the one with the blue guy with the mohawk and horns.
Howie
and they
Mandel?
Yes.
It's alright.
I loved it because of the fact that they use all of the props and stuff like that, and like almost zero to no CG.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is what makes more movies feel more real.
Well, we will have to go into a CG podcast because there will be a lot of details that we have to talk about with that. But let's go back to the universe idea of Hollywood building everything as a universe instead of single form movies. Because think about it. The Matrix was going to build a universe because it did a trilogy, so it has its own universe. Everything does. There's no standalone movie anymore.
I love The Matrix. It's so
Like,
good.
name a standalone movie that now that doesn't have a sequel, is not going to get a sequel or anything like that. Like I just showed you, Power Rangers is going to get 7 more movies before this first one even comes out to build its universe. Star Trek has now built its universe again.
I'm
Star
excited for
Wars,
Trek.
yeah. The third one, it doesn't have J.J. Abrams on it.
I
so-
haven't got
Yeah,
to see
yeah.
any of them yet.
The Star Wars universe is a universe. That is a cinematic universe. Some that earn the right, yeah, because they built it before we even think about it. But nowadays, nothing is going to be set as original, as an independent in the big screen that can stand alone by itself. It's always going to be, can we build a franchise out of this?
It's basically it's more like if you can get one to come out like that and want people to come see another one, it secures you,
Yeah.
More money.
Yeah, because think about it.
a livelihood for
I bet
a
you-
considerable amount of time.
I
Oh, yeah.
bet you if The Matrix only made the first one and only that, how much better would it have been?
I wanted more.
You like
because I love The Matrix.
Yeah.
you like the sequel?
That, you can't talk like... Yes, I did.
I think when you talk about like
I like the trilogy.
when you talk about franchises, I think it's more like, did they purposely draw it out, or was it like its own? Like I think The Matrix had its own standalone.
Yeah, it had a good standalone. But
well,
then
I'm talking
it
about
was,
like for each like movie, like the first one was really good, and if you wanted, you could stop there, I guess. But in my opinion, each movie, I wouldn't say is like standalone. It wouldn't make any sense. But
precisely.
But the thing is, like, they were full non drawn out, full of action. They didn't.
So
skip
you're
out
pretty
on
much
anything.
saying
It's a
that
quality movie,
you think
so-
that they planned out the trilogy in the beginning. That way, they can make the first movie, be like, okay, hey guys, we're going to be coming out with the second one, boom, second one, third one.
It almost
But
felt
that's
like
the
they
problem.
stop.
It almost
That's
felt like
the
they,
problem.
It almost felt like they did the first one, and then they're like, this did really well. Like,
No,
let's
that's what
make-
happened
let's
to
make
them.
ano- let's-
That's what
well,
happens
well,
to
like,
them.
let's make another one, and then we'll call it good. That one did really well. They made a third one to finish it off.
Oh, and it did horrible in the box office.
Did it really?
Oh, they did
I
bad.
love the final fight. It was so awesome.
No, they did bad in the box office. But that's the thing. Movies used to be that way, where it could be made by itself and be good enough. Nowadays, they have to plan, we're going to make this movie It's got to have 5 movies connected to it all. It's got to have its own build up, its own universe.
And, well, I think the biggest issue is like they don't plan it out well enough because the last one always feels rushed.
As I said, I think it's just that everyone's trying to make a buck and think they can just by making 20 movies and expanding and making halves of nothing.
Sometimes it's not entirely the filmmaker's fault. They might have contracts that make them do that.
Yeah, but still.
Because it extends, like, if they put, like, merch, like, Star Wars, for example, if they're selling, like, figures, if they have multiple movies coming out, it keeps out that line of toys longer because it's more relevant.
But see, there you go. That's the problem. To make money. It's always going to be making money. I know that's the worst part.
What the whole business is about, though.
And that's the worst part of it all.
I mean, they wouldn't be filmmakers if they didn't know they could make money in it.
Yeah, but do you, like, if you made a project and you were told that it couldn't be a standalone, it had to be connected to this, put in that, it had to expand 3 movies.
Going back to that thought when you're like, they wouldn't do it if they make money. Maybe that's why I like anime movies more, because it almost feels like that's what they're more
passionate.
They're more passionate, but also they're standalone. They are standalone.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Name like
Dragon Ball Z.
Gintama.
No, it's built off. No, they're standalone because they only take stuff from it and use it. They aren't continuing on. They aren't say you have to watch all the movies because they all connect.
Well, they do all connect. Well, not all of them.
They all don't connect. No, they could be standalone. They could be by themselves, and all you need is the knowledge from the anime. The anime is the main source.
True.
The movies just take stuff from that and use it.
But yeah, you're right about Gintama.
Well, Gintama's just this whole world of work.
Gintama, but you could start from the beginning and go straight to the end and be like,
this is an example.
No one.
Yeah. Okay, Spirited Away. That's a great movie by itself.
Right.
Howl's Moving Castle. Great movie by itself.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if it gets a sequel? Because it was made to have
even better movie.
See, that's the thing. You made that noise.
Terrible.
That's what Hollywood is doing.
Right.
And that's what annoys me about it nowadays.
But there's a difference between those, because anime, you can't, I mean, you possibly can keep it going, but with anime movies, it's a one and done, get it out there, get it done, and then with live action, most people here in the States want to keep watching it, so that's why the bigger movies keep on going.
And you've complained about it because we've seen how many origins out of it, we've seen how many repeats out of it.
Right, like Wolverine.
Yes. And
I love Wolverine, but
I love Wolverine,
but that's what I really wish we could get into. That's why I like anime. One of the reasons I like anime, because Wolf's Children. Would you want a sequel?
That one, I could handle one more sequel, and that would be it.
Just because I was an emotional wreck.
Same
Because
here.
I watched it recently,
Dude,
and I was
Grave
like,
of the Fireflies. Do you think that needs a sequel?
I didn't watch that yet.
You have to watch that.
I didn't want to. I read the descriptions like, this is a trap.
It will make... No, I told you. That's why you need an afternoon off when you watch that. Zach can agree.
Yes.
I'll watch it with you.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Oh, God. I do not want to cry.
We still need to watch The Boy and the Beast.
He's seen it.
Oh, you lucky dog.
But that's something I feel annoyed that we're, as Westerners, have to just see the profit as it. We can't make anything just for the enjoyment. It's always got to be profit. It's always got to be money in that. That's why I don't think we're going to ever see a good standalone movie.
Unless somebody very passionate who, goes on like crowdfunding or something like that and like, hey, I want to make this one and done. Like Laser Team, like
or Video Game
Rooster Teeth.
Do you remember Video Game High School?
Dude, I freaking loved that.
That was a good one.
It's still going on, you know that.
No, it ended.
Really? I thought it was still going on for another season.
I think they had 3 seasons and it ended.
I thought they put it all into one movie.
No, it's a whole series.
Yeah, they had multiple seasons. They had Kickstarters for, I believe, all of them. The first one was, I think, solely Kickstarter, and that was really cool. Because just to see like how they actually, because Rocket Jump, they did all of like their stunts by themselves, and they're like
Rocket Jump's awesome.
Yeah, they're like basically like the up and coming like filmmakers, and they have like their own school and stuff to like teach kids how to do CG and whatnot, and make these great movies with like low budgets, and it was incredible. I was like, this is impressive. And now it's on Netflix, so that's cool too.
That movie's awesome, by the way.
I've never seen it.
But yeah, okay, so like Laser Team, that's a standalone. Do you think they're going to come out with a sequel? Probably not.
Actually, no, they made it in that way.
Well, I mean,
in a way, did you ever see?
Because
you never watched it.
Because they're passionate about their filmmaking.
Yeah, but you never watched it, have you?
No, but I haven't.
They set it up. They could have set it. They set it up in a way so it can have a sequel.
Yeah.
See, so it's either that's the thing. They either know they're going to have to make. They could make another one.
Okay, well, I got to put my tongue back in my mouth.
See, and that's the problem. like in Japan, that's one of the reasons we are drawn by it, because we can see it as a complete standalone. Even in the anime shows we watch, they can be standalone. Even though nowadays we are getting a lot of reboots or a lot of continuations, like, you know that you cannot make another Cowboy Bebop. You cannot make a sequel to that.
Meanwhile, all the film companies are like, watch me.
Oh, actually, you know what I also learned? Did you know they were going to make a live-action Cowboy Bebop?
Yep.
Did you know who was going to star as the main?
I can't
Tom
remember.
Cruise.
Nope.
I'm
Keanu
kidding.
Reeves.
Yeah, that's what.
I'd go see it. He's a sharp guy.
Well, now he is.
Matrix.
Back then, when he was like between the period of Bill and Ted, he wasn't.
Well, he's got a lot of like
Never saw Bill and Ted.
You are a sad person, sir.
You haven't seen Invader Zim.
Bill and Ted's classic. Bill and Ted's classic. Invader Zim, I bet you is, but Bill and Ted's more classic.
Invader Zim is classic for our generation.
And Bill and Ted's classic
Old
for
man.
Bill and Ted's classic for a ton of generations. So
What was that one? I think it was like called like Grandmaster or something like that with Keanu Reeves in it.
Is that the martial law one he did recently in the last 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah, no, don't watch it. All right, let's move on to anime, and let's talk about a WB anime that we all have seen coming back and actually getting continuation, because heck, we're still sticking on that train.
If Adam was here, he'd be freaking out right now.
No, he wouldn't. He would hate it. That's why we're saving that one for after, because we want.
Oh wait, I thought we were talking about that. Never mind.
I'm talking about Cardcaptor Sakura.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen that? Have you not, Austin?
What was it?
Cardcaptor Sakura.
No.
WB Saturday morning cartoons. Were you in?
I probably would if I. Oh.
It was this.
It was this. Her.
Yes,
You've
I
seen
have.
it.
That was when I was very little.
Yep,
Mhm.
same here. I very
Really?
rarely. Or dang it, what am I trying to say?
Very rare. You don't
I
remember
can
it.
barely remember it.
Yeah, I loved it. I will admit it was a cute
96 to 2000 was
Yeah.
the manga.
I was born in '96, so there's also.
Now I feel old.
I was 6 years old.
I was like 8 or 9.
I believe my sisters used to watch that.
Yeah, it was
and
good. It was.
That's why I've seen
And see, this was one that a lot of people back then watched. It was okay. It was cleaned up because of what was really made from the classical one. They wouldn't be able to show in the States until now, when we're more. I guess we're more accepting now, are we?
I feel like on paper we are.
More, but, yeah. But they're going to actually make a sequel, a continuation of her in junior high. They're going to write a manga. They're going to do an anime to it. There's several factors in this show, though, that you question how it's going to play out. Because one of the things is a lot of the themes in it. Because,
by the way, it's the 20th anniversary
that's
for
why
the original
That's
manga.
why they're going to do that. That's why they're going to make it a little bit of continuation, a special or something.
So they're going to do a sequel manga series
and
July.
And they're going to also get an anime for it.
For the Cardcaptor Sakura, let's see, Clamp in their magazines in the July issue.
Yeah, and they're going to get an anime out of this because it was a big one. It actually came to the States.
I love how nondescript all of the upcoming animes are, and they always say this. And an incident takes place, and you're like,
what does that mean? You know.
And then you watch it, and you're like,
she gets raped.
plot twist. This is not your PG movie.
No, we've seen that with Magic Mokota. That's what happened in Magic Mokota.
When her head got ripped off.
Yeah, that's the plot twist there. That's one of the biggest plot twists.
That was like at the very beginning.
3 episodes in, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh.
And then you close your laptop, and you're like,
I'm done.
I need a minute. But this one, like, how do you think, one example why I'm using this is, how are they going to bring this to the States? Do you think they're going to keep the ideas from the original, or they're going to modify for Americans?
Probably modify.
Because originally, like, her brother, and like
actually, I don't think they're going to modify.
You don't think?
I think they're going to try to keep the original, like, what's the word? Like, kind of keep the culture, kind of keep that culture. That way they can bring it to America and kind of get people into their culture.
No, this is why I'm saying this. You guys don't remember it much, but in the anime, well, what they showed in WB, they censored a lot of the relationships out of it.
Okay.
Because like,
you mentioned that earlier.
because in the brother of Sakura and his best friend was set to actually have a relationship.
I thought you were about to say
like
in a rape.
No. Well, you guys brought it up earlier, but it was heavily implied that they were in a relationship.
Okay.
Who?
Her brother and his best friend.
So they were gay?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then they was setting that, how they made, I think they made
So
her best friend like her cousin. But really, her best friend was interested into her.
Huh.
So, and, being in the 90s where that stuff is not good.
90s, I ship it.
Yeah. They don't even know what shipping is in the 90s. They thought it was actually the boat instead of what we were.
I wonder when the term shipping came around.
I wonder when we started really becoming accepting of this stuff.
I remember when the first time I realized what that was. I was like, oh, my life just makes sense now.
Right.
See, I never knew what shipping was until when someone said it. I was like, what is
it? It would have been about 4 or 5 years ago for me.
Right.
It would have been a year ago than for me.
Because I would have been,
the internet is a wondrous educator, and
I didn't use it much in my time frame.
Well, it was probably a good thing because the internet now is a terrible place and teaches you the wrong things.
Oh yeah, but knowing that now, guys, knowing that they edited a lot of that emphasis out, they censored a lot of that. Do you think they can bring that and keep it unedited then, or do you think they have to change it?
They won't be able to air a lot of stuff, but they might.
There's animes where guys are interested in guys.
But is it aired on public television?
Well, I'm not sure.
This is why
the new Sailor Moon Crystal, where who is it? Uranus and Neptune, right?
Yes.
They're lesbian, and then the new one, they're starting to do that now.
Well, see, they can now
because I think maybe because more of the society is more accepting to.
It is
that lifestyle,
and that's the thing. Like in the 90s when that originally showed,
they didn't allow it.
They didn't allow it. What did they do? They just cut it out completely, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't even add it into the animation.
Yeah. Well, no, they added in the anime in Japan, but in America they edited that out.
I thought it was just in the manga.
No, I thought it was in the anime too. It was in plot.
I thought it was just in the manga.
Plot twist: this entire anime has been hentai all these years, and we didn't even know.
No, there's a lot of
that would be hilarious.
No, because
let's make this kids anime or
subliminal hentai.
Love to Rue is like that right now.
Well, that's not even subliminal. They just straight.
Yeah, there you go. But that's
guess who made this? Who licensed it?
Who?
Madhouse. Yeah. Is it Madhouse is the one that doesn't make sequels, right?
No, it
who's the one who doesn't make sequels?
Like
Gonzo?
Know. Aniplex?
No, there's
Funimation.
No.
We're funny guy.
We're gonna slip down right underneath the rug.
But that's what I mean. That's why it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Like if it's on Crunchyroll, this is what also the catch is. Let's pretend you were a person in that time, watched that cartoon, and somehow skipped everything anime wise, and then is gonna watch this because they remember it nostalgic.
You're in for a wild ride.
You're in a wild, confusing, and weird ride. But I mean, thank goodness for internet, because I bet you everyone who you would have watched this, who watched it back then, got the internet, understand what it truly means, and is more accepted, and now can see this. But let's pretend if it was WB time, then do you think they would have heavily edited it? They would have changed it up and made more and more confusing story plot lines than it would have been set
At least
up.
4Kids didn't get a hold of it.
Oh god. Well, that's also what's weird. Madhouse had it then, and I'm like, really? They edited it? Because
they must be mad.
Yeah, they must.
I'm sorry.
And it's just so crazy that like nowadays we're a lot more accepting, which is great. I love it. But that's why I think one of the factors why Sailor Moon is able to push and do stuff like they are now is because we are accepting, and we won't be like no. Well, a good chunk. And I bet you there's a lot of anime and manga that they could bring back to now that would be able to be changed up and originally written how it should be.
If they did it right.
If they did right. I mean, and I think that's also why it's a big factor. I mean, like, that's why maybe a lot of series that we have that only had the one season that deserve more are coming back, are going to be remade, like Berserk, of course.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people are looking forward to that.
Because, like...
Did you watch Berserk?
I haven't started it yet.
Don't watch it. Don't, because read it.
I know I worked with someone who talked about it so much that I practically know everything about Berserk without even watching it. Which isn't a bad thing. I enjoyed listening to it because the story was really good, even though it was super depressing.
Story
and I would be
is good. It is depressing, but I read it, and then when people explained, I was like, "You barely touched anything about what it is."
super dark.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But that's how I felt like with a lot of series. That's why I keep saying I don't watch half the series, because every time they give it, it's one season. Oh, it did well, but we don't want to make any more. And you're like, are you serious?
I have this one anime. I'll have to look on my phone in a minute, but it ended so terribly. Like the cliffhanger, it was
Claymore?
Like I said, I haven't seen that yet, so that's why I was like, I can't relate to that. But it was such a cliffhanger that you thought it was just like the cutoff point for like the midway point of like the episode. But they just ended in the entire season, and they're not making another one.
There's a few animes
There's
out
a
there
lot
like
of
that.
animes like that.
Well, it was like so unexplained. It was like mid-fight, and then like they go back in time, and then he sees the guy he was fighting. Because I'm assuming that he went further back.
Sounds
in time.
like Terminator.
It was really really confusing.
Probably,
anyway, he goes back in time, sees the guy he was fighting, and he says something kind of like leading. He's like, "I've been waiting for you," and I was like, and then it just ends. I'm like,
it probably goes on in the mangas.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I read.
Well, I read in the comment section. I was like, it really does not get any better than that, because I want to say that the manga ends like it completes what he was talking about, and then it ends. Like,
well, at least it completes it. Yeah, at least it completes it.
Not story-wise, it doesn't help at all.
Oh, okay.
So I was like,
what's the name of that anime?
I'll look it up. It has magic in the name, so there's that.
Look it up. But
Irregular Magical High School.
No, not that one.
But all in all, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to keep it just original? They're going to just dub it, and do you think it's going to be changed in any way? All in all,
I don't really know too much about it, so I'm going to have to say that I think they might keep it because times have changed, maybe for the better for them, and to get people more interested in the culture in case somebody goes across and like, oh, I could probably watch this, and then get people into the culture and then be like, hey, let's go to Japan and spend money there and stuff like that. That's a long shot, but it's just an idea.
I'm amazed, as I said, where a lot of times we're more accepting, but there's still a good pocket of unaccepting people.
Yeah.
And
we are in America.
Yeah, America is a quite interesting one.
Very opinionated and antisocial, but yet super social. And what's some other ones?
We're schizophrenic. We are.
Mahou Sensu.
Mahou Sensu?
Never heard of that one.
But don't watch it.
Okay.
Like, they don't develop. Well, at the end, you're like, oh, they're starting to develop characters. And
it shuts off.
Yeah, and I'm like, cool.
That's how Claymore was. Claymore, you get involved, and they build up the characters, and you start to really get involved, and you're like, oh, this is just so good. And it gets to this point to where like so much is happening. Like the big demon comes, and then there's this random guy who's like part of this, and then the team starts dying off, and then like then there's this one girl, and then she starts to become really strong, and then blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden just this one guy picks this one demon thing up, goes away, and it ends.
Then you read the manga.
That literally is how it is.
That's why you read the manga.
You wait the entire time for the main character to get strong, and then he gets strong, and you're like, oh yeah, this is awesome, and then it's just like,
yep.
And that's why you read it. That's why you read it.
And there might be more. Comment section probably just lied to me, but I bet they did. But
there's probably some like
I'm not gonna read it.
fan like finished stuff.
10 out of 10, way better than the anime then. In all honesty, like it was good in terms of like its concept. I really liked what the idea of the anime was about, but execution is so poor. Everybody hated on it too. Like they're like, this is 6 hours of my life in the drain, not even gonna.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right with a lot of. Man, that's
it's
annoying.
12 episodes.
But
what was that question that you were wanting to ask us earlier about
one?
Anime?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
What makes you continue anime? Because there's certain.
I say let's hit on that topic a little bit.
Okay. Because
unless you had something already lined up.
No. I was gonna move to nerd stuff, but we can always keep this.
Yeah.
I'm keeping time too.
Yeah, we shouldn't do Nerd Stump today because I'm so worn out, and I don't want to come up with a character.
Well, mine was going to be Nigel Thornberry because it was on you.
I already had mine planned out too, dang it. Okay, I'll save mine for next week. Okay.
There you go.
Let me give why this is a premise to me. As I said, when I read a manga, it usually, I don't know what some cause me to do this, but I may read a few chapters, go, okay, that may be interesting. I'll eventually go back to it again. But there are some that I will read and read and read. Then an hour later, I realize I've just read 100 chapters of this series.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, why? And, after I'm done with it, I'm like, I got to find out what's next, And that, a lot of shows, a lot of animes have the same thing. What catches you guys?
Okay. I think can break this down into like a couple parts. Like one, it either it can relate to you. Like if an anime really hits home with you, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna be more interested in the characters. I really like it when animes give these characters a life. Like make them like a real person. So you know about them. It's not like
So the character development is what catches you,
right. or emotionally attached. Because that helps you get emotionally attached to the characters. And, like animes that really play on my like emotions, I guess you could say, like whether that be like
taking a feels trip.
That's either a feels trip or like that's super awesome action. Really into this. It just does it for me. Or it could be like even the art style or the or the music. It could just really send off.
See, and that's one of those things I've never noticed, because with manga, it's usually a rough, more sketching. It's like,
well, you can create your own movie when you read. So it's
that may be why, because like One Punch Man, for example, it is one that in the manga is so off because he draws it his own way. Like a chapter can be 2 pages, or it could be 40. Or he could be
and
5.
His art style is very, very, very rough.
Yeah,
it's almost like a doodle.
Yeah,
have you seen
I have. My friend recommended me One Punch Man. I read the first chapter. This was a year before it
got big.
Yeah, before it became the anime. And I read the first chapter, and I forgot about it after that, and I feel bad because I love the anime now. But I noticed it because like even when he drew, like I felt like some of his they weren't like unfinished, but like he kind of took the lazy way out.
And you know what's funny?
They
took that and had someone else redraw it to what we know it as. That's what's being selling in stores. His original work, but someone else has drawn it.
Right.
Which that's the way I think most animes go anyway. The creators, I mean, unless you're just a really good artist or something. Like for me, if I made an anime, I'd be like, okay, I have this idea. I want this, this, and this, but I can't draw, so you guys do the drawing, and I'll approve it or not.
Yeah, but like you, Zach, what catches you? Like what
Pretty much everything that Austin said. My main stuff is the art style. I have to really, really enjoy the art. I have certain things that turn me on and turn me off.
That's what is the thing. The certain things is always going to be different, people.
Right, and it's same with manga too. I mean, so when it comes to anime, art is my number 1. My number 2 is going to be characters. They have to be good, buildable characters. You have to actually want to grow with them and want to learn these characters and learn what their whole life is about. And then after that would probably be like music and then plot. It doesn't have to have an amazing plot for me to get into it, but if it has good characters and good music, that's enough for me to go on.
Same here. Like they could start with one story and then finish with like some complete other idea. But as long as I enjoyed seeing the characters be them throughout the entire thing and just kind of like interact with each other, it does it for me.
So the characters is what draws you into that. Like they have to be.
It's a lot of things really.
Because this is what I mean. Like let's pretend you watch an anime. Let's use Seiko Boys for example.
Okay.
We watched how many
0 characters.
Yeah.
Like that's literally just tropes. Okay, look, you have the manager who wants to become something, but she's a ditzy, but she's very eccentric. Okay, that's as far as her character goes. Then you have all the little statue guys. Those are just typical like, not divas. What's the word? The
band style guys.
Yeah, like just like that. I mean, it's just they're very high maintenance, and then for the most part, I mean that's about it.
Yeah, but this is why, because as I said, But the thing is, what keeps you? Because the characters can keep you, but is that will keep you continuing with that story?
It depends. I mean, it's all. I mean, I'm not gonna enjoy like. Okay, let's take My Little Pony. My Little Pony
Classic.
probably has a very. I haven't seen it, but I bet you $100 I could get really into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But because the art for one, and for two, it's not meant for. I mean, people would argue, but
no, it starts changing. Like they've done that and had to modify.
But like I said, it probably has an amazing plot. It probably has amazing character builds, but everything else, the music, the art, and the plot's probably, like I said, probably really good. But just missing those two things isn't enough for me. Plus the fandom and
I'll give you the fandom.
Yeah, the fandom actually has a big thing to do with it. I've watched Hitalia. And I like Hitalia, but I'm not going to get into it like most of the fandom. What's that one? Homestuck. It's not an anime, but the fandom keeps me away from not wanting to get into Homestuck.
I can see that because like I use manga for a reason because I don't have the music. Usually the drawings are nice,
right?
But they aren't perfect.
Well, okay. Let me ask you this, and Austin, let me ask you this first.
Okay.
Do you play any instruments?
I play the guitar. Did play the clarinet in high school. That was
lucky.
I want to play the piano, but mainly just the guitar right now.
Okay, Tien, do you play any instruments?
I used to play the clarinet, and I used to.
You guys are lucky.
Did you want to play the clarinet?
Yes, I had to play the trombone.
Why?
Because I wanted to play the sax.
I wanted to play the sax
That's
too.
why I wanted to do it too, actually.
And they wouldn't let you play it unless you learned the clarinet first.
Oh, that's weird.
I was about to, then I moved. And then my cousin's like, no, don't play instruments in band. I was like, okay.
I thought about playing the trumpet, and then...
Trumpet's cool.
But all my family played clarinet. We just bounced way off topic.
Well, no, the whole reason is because Tien, I don't think you're into that much music. You know me, I'm really into music because I grew up in a family that's all musicians. Yeah. My sister plays the piano, she plays the flute. My dad plays the guitar since he's been 5.
Well,
my mom sings in a choir.
Can I be weird for you? My little sister plays the viola.
Mm-hmm.
My other sister...
My little brother plays the viola.
Yeah. Oh. I played an instrument. My other sister did for a few months, stopped. Yes, no,
You touched, let's say, how many years did you play? A year or two?
2 years.
Okay, so you played for 2 years just one instrument, right?
Yeah.
I've played the guitar, the bass. I always just play with the piano and the MIDI, like the MIDI controllers and stuff like that. And you pretty much name it, I've played with it or played it. Mm-hmm. I suck at drums.
I can hold drumsticks.
Right.
Actually, no, that reminds me. My sister plays drums.
Oh, wow.
She plays when we go performance, she plays that. She had to learn that, and she's played that for 4 years.
The whole point of this conversation, we're not getting off topic too much, but I think music in anime, because you can't get music from manga unless you play music in the background, and it doesn't really match up all the time with the scenes that you're reading. So in anime, you get to watch the music, or technically you get to watch the music. Yeah. You get to watch what's happening on screen and listen to the music, and the people who do the music, they match it up. So, I mean, that's one big reason to me, is because it's going to match up, and it's an art form. I mean, building an anime is an art. It's not just the artist, it's the editors, the film, what is it called?
Animators.
Yeah, the animators.
The sound
editors, storyboard.
Yeah.
It takes so much. The music, all the research, everything.
I remember one anime that did this that I think people started to not like after a while, but the first season of Asterisk Wars, they faded in their outro, and I love that outro so much. Waiting for the Rain. It is beautiful.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
At the end of every episode, they would fade it into what was going on, and it was so subtle that you wouldn't really notice it until it
starts to pick up.
And I don't know, it was just the coolest thing to have that blend in with whatever they were doing, and I love that. And
I love it when anime does that, because Gintama does that sometimes, and it gets you pissed off because it's ending.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're like, oh, this is so good. I'm getting goosebumps. And oh my god, music.
Or I love it also when anime plays their intro, outro, or whatever during the
something
thing.
Like in the middle of it.
Tokyo Ghoul played, I think it's their intro. It's called Unravel. They played it during like the last episode, and it made me teary eyed.
So with all these, how many times have you binge anime, like straight series?
Binge anime? Oh my god, I probably binged anime for 3 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
On tons of anime. It was good or bad.
See, and that's the thing.
You could ask me that I'm still binging.
Yeah, so you're still binging, but you say good or bad. I mean, you're not picky on it with that, too.
I wasn't. Now, because I've seen so much anime, I know what there is now, and I know what is good and what's not, and I can typically see, and this is just my own personal opinion, but I can typically see what's going to be good, what's going to be bad, judging by the art and the first 1 to 3 episodes.
You know, speaking of the art style, there was an anime, at least a lot of my friends didn't like, called No Game, No Life. And
I liked it.
I loved it. I was like, I don't know why you guys don't like this.
But they got in trouble.
So
what did they get in trouble with?
No Game, No Life copyrighted a lot of stuff from a lot of other animators and stuff. And so they got in big trouble, and that's why it got shut down.
I was wondering what happened to that season 2, but no.
I thought it was cool. I mean, it was very different, you know.
I loved the color palette.
I could have gone without the incest.
Yeah. that was a little weird at times.
What the heck?
You have to watch it.
What?
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. So
in No Game, No Life, the big brother and the little sister kind of have like a weird thing.
I mean, it's not like verbal, but they're really close.
It's like insinuated.
Yeah.
Comforting.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
But,
okay, then.
I mean, the anime was good.
Yeah, the anime was great.
They really left it open to season 2.
The characters were cool.
They left it to open season 2. There you go.
That's why. But it wasn't like a bad. Like they accomplished what they wanted in the end. But they left it open, you know, in case it did well. Which I can't. Apparently, they got in trouble, so they can't.
Yeah,
so
I don't think.
no matter what.
There's a lot of copyright.
If they keep going on with it, they're not gonna be. It's not gonna be the same thing.
No. Yeah.
So basically, what's the basis? What did they get in trouble for?
A lot of copywriting.
Like what, gaming copywriting?
I don't know. Okay. I know it was a lot of like animation. Like they stole a lot of stuff, like backgrounds and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So they actually took stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know. I was just trying to figure out what.
I'm gonna have to do some more research because I'm actually really curious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of piqued my interest too because I didn't know where it went. But.
And yeah, that's always a good thing to know that you want to find further info. That's always a factor. As said, see, you guys like a bunch of pieces put together. I mean, you gotta have sound, visual, good movement, good clean create.
Well, it's not like it has to have all of them at once. Like I said, like story isn't nothing, but it also isn't everything.
Well, see, that's the thing with me, because I read, so I don't have the music. I don't have the.
You need story.
I need the story to be a key factor. I need characters to be a key factor. That's the groundwork for me. So I'm a little opposite because you guys have a little switched around than I do, comparatively. Like character and story are my top 2 in that.
Well, that and I hate reading too.
I like reading, but I don't have anything to read now that I'm out of school. So it's like
borrow that, just borrow it, bring it to me.
I will.
Devil's a part-timer.
Yeah,
light novel.
and that we'll use it. We also want to see how
we got some ideas for that later.
But
we'll talk about.
You know what really pissed me off? I will admit this. I went to buy Spice and Wolf, the light novel. I was like, I'm gonna go read that. Bought the manga. And it does, like, I was like, okay, this is not bad, but I was really angry because I was like, I want to read it just to make my own story in it, but I gotta go buy the
I know where you can find the audiobook.
I don't
I listen to that at work.
I want to read it. I want to read it to enjoy it more, because when you lay there an hour before you go to bed, you read a few pages, makes you feel so much better.
See, I can't do that.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
that is healthy.
No, trust me, I'm in the same boat as you.
That is healthy for you.
I physically can't do that.
That is supposedly very healthy for you.
Why?
Because this artificial lighting is bad for you when you sleep because it screws up your.
As we say, like stimulates.
Sleep.
But I don't.
What do you do before you go to bed?
I'm not on my phone all the time that.
What do you do when you go to sleep?
Anime until
I go to sleep.
Move.
When I'm in bed, I go to sleep.
So you just fall asleep automatically. You don't have any like.
Well,
you don't really remember what you're doing before you fall asleep. Sometimes, well, at least mine. I'm just like close your eyes and I'm gone.
I'm either in the front room on my phone, and then I'll put it down, and then I'll get ready for bed, and then I'll get in bed and get in bed.
How long does it take you to get ready to go to bed?
10 minutes.
I think you can validate this. Usually studies have proven that an hour before you sleep, you should just read or do something where you're off computer, your electronics, or anything like that, because the artificial light is actually bad for you.
Well, it's a given. It's not necessarily artificial light. It's just like what you're doing on I mean, watching videos or, you know, playing a video game, you're really stimulated. So it's not like, you know.
It's not good for helping you start your sleeping cycle.
And if you're reading, it's more, you know, brain activity. It's not physical. It's not, you know, you're not. When I say stimulate, it's more like active thinking, and reading I feel is more like passive thinking, because you can just kind of like, have you ever like gotten lost reading in a book? You can just kind of like almost zone out. It's not. I feel like it's more passive than it is, you know, active. So I feel like
I know that when I do read a book, I get the same thing that you do, where you can't put it down, but for me, it's hard to get going in the beginning, because once I get it's hard for me to. A story has to really catch me and get me involved, and then once it does, I can't stop.
Yeah, I usually have that with my manga and my light novels and stuff like that. I will get into it and just.
Now, light novels, I think it also has to do with stuff that interests you too, because I can't read like Harry Potter. Like, I don't know why. I love the movies. I love the idea.
I've never seen past the third movie,
but reading the book just doesn't sound interesting. Now, sitting here reading like this Devil's a Part-Timer, that looks really interesting because it's anime and good characters, good plot, good development, and stuff like that.
And you also know that there is no second season, so you don't get to see what happens next until you read it.
Is there really no second season?
So far, there is no second season. Oh my gosh, it gets
I know it's been
crazy.
a while, but I mean, like I figured eventually down the line.
This is what annoys me.
Like,
the first 2 volumes is the first season. There's 15 volumes.
Awesome.
Dang.
Yeah. And in America, there's only volume 4 out. 5's coming out in August.
I remember you saying that. I think
So,
last week or 2 weeks ago.
If I know manga, I will research. I'd also research like I guess that's also the personality. I know personality factors into it, because you know how I am with research. If it's something I care, I will hunt it down until there's nothing left.
That's sometimes the reason why I don't research things. Like if something ends like the anime and I research it and I find out that
it has a continuation,
or it doesn't have a continuation, it'd be like, you know, it kind of makes me sad. Or if it does and it's like 2 years from now, I'm like, I don't know if I'll be alive 2 years from now. I can't make it. So sometimes that's why I don't research things. It's better to just have that surprise than to know. But then again, I'm like super I love to learn things, and it's terrible.
Learning's amazing.
It is.
And see, that's what I do. Every time I learn something, that's a new item I learned today. So it may be useless, but it's a new item I've learned.
I get curious, and I just destroy my life with things I don't need to know.
My research pattern is ridiculous. Like, you get me into one thing, I'll go into each little detailed piece, like this this Digivice right here. I'll learn the program, and then once I learn the program, I'll learn how to build the program, and then I'll learn how to build all the plastic feet. Like, I'll learn how to build that 100%, and just because I can. Like, it's just something stupid like that.
And I just like the general knowledge, so I could go, okay, I could pull that when we need it, but I don't need to build it. I just need to know of it.
I just like to know everything.
Yeah, especially if I hear like somebody talk about something, like when you guys talk about different animes, usually I end up researching later on, because I'm like, it's probably something I'm going to want to watch. I at least want to know what people are talking about in a general sense, so I do a lot of like that.
Yeah, I do too.
That's kind of how I was when I first started watching anime. I was like, I just want to talk with people about what happened in these shows.
Yeah, or I'll go down the rabbit hole on YouTube, and I'm like, what started off as like a trailer turns into like a how-to video. It turns into like some other.
See, that's what's weird. Yeah. I don't try to go down rabbit holes.
I love rabbit holes.
I was like, oh, that's a cool thumbnail. Click.
See, I don't. I like, if I find, like, I do it like once every other month. I may click one thing and go, I like this. I'm gonna save as subscribe and watch everything they've done. But I don't like going, click this one subject and it'll bring me to 20 different people who've done different things about it.
That's crazy, because that's what I do. Because like today, I was watching pond filter, like how like DIY build your own pond filters. Anyway, I ended up like watching some guy throw nitrogen on his face.
See, that's a rabbit hole. I'm like, how do you? I don't understand.
I was like, how do you go from pond filters to a guy throwing nitrogen on his face?
How do you do that? That would annoy me, because like, that's not what I originally came for, and I can't.
Well, you need a break from all the research.
I love those like science videos that are like or like the slow-mo guys that do a lot of cool stuff.
I watched a guy shoot at a goldfish with a .22, and the goldfish caught it in his mouth.
What?
Yeah.
Well,
And then it went straight through,
I was
right?
gonna say,
No, it caught it in its mouth and stayed alive. Yeah, science. Or it was set up.
Science.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Science.
Science is.
Science. He's a medical.
Hang on. Let me. I'll narrate this one.
Yeah.
We can rebuild him. We have the money.
Yeah.
$20.
20 bucks.
Yeah, 20. We have augmented goldfish. We can now rule the world.
They glow in the dark.
We can replace him
Yeah.
with a goldfish. It looks exactly the same.
We can make him better again.
Here you go, my 5-year-old child. Here's the goldfish we were messing with.
Call him Iron Jaw.
What was it? What's the guy from Venture Brothers?
Hatred.
No, the guy with the iron jaw thing.
Oh.
The name is
Underjaw. Under something.
No, Underworld.
Underbite.
Underbite.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Underbite?
I think it's Underbite.
We'll look it up.
Did you ever watch Venture Brothers?
The new season's out, or it's out I think. I want to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it.
The
You haven't seen it?
You've never have
Oh
you ever
my
watched
god,
it?
you need to watch it.
That's a good series.
You guys make me feel terrible. Like how many? Like I feel like I've watched so. Oh, where's my phone? I feel like I've watched so much anime, and then you guys tell me about something. I'm like, I have seen nothing.
I can't say much. I just watched the first season of Rick and
You
Morty.
need to get a hummingbird account.
Oh, that's the app you use for your
Oh
anime?
yeah, you use A-List, right?
Yeah, it's called Anime Tracker.
Oh, that's what it is.
But I think they're partnered with My Anime List. So I don't know. I need a new one because this one, I think.
Brian Werner Underbite. It's basically
So
spelled.
Underbite.
It's basically, but it's spelled UNDERBHEIT.
Bite.
Yeah, you go.
Underbite.
Yeah.
The
So
name is fantastic.
what was after that? What are we talking about?
Gaming after. We're going to talk about how.
Oh, we're talking about the new systems like
Yeah.
NX. Like
Yeah.
Surprised we're not talking about Overwatch.
Overwatch is 10 out of 10.
No.
I have been straying away, so I'm like, I just go on a tangent.
I want to bring Adam for that because he will destroy us on how much information on that stuff.
Overwatch?
Oh gosh, if
Is he super into it?
if he likes a game, he will be super into it.
Is he?
I didn't know he was super into it.
I didn't either.
He mentioned how much he likes it. So
I just heard how much he likes Tracer.
I'm Genji all the time.
Diva.
Yeah.
Well, I like Tracer as a character. I like playing Reinhardt, but he's OP'd. I think they've already made the OP list, but no.
Did they really? I think is Torbjorn the turret builder guy
I'll
on
look
there?
it up, but I wanted to bring up
I
the
bet he is.
systems because we are getting 3 quote unquote upgrade systems for all 3 companies.
Yeah.
From Nintendo, we're getting NX. That's going to be announced this year, most likely coming out next year. From Xbox, they just announced that they're making their Xbox One Slim or upgrade.
Did they announce if it was gonna be like faster than the Elite or any of the specs?
I don't know 100%. I don't think they have.
So it's like the PlayStation 2 when it came out, and then they came out with the Slim. So it's not a whole new Xbox. It's just an upgraded,
because
different
It's like
version.
Xbox
because
360.
PlayStation is getting something like that. They're making the PlayStation 4 Neo.
Neo.
It's going to be an upgraded.
Yeah.
Is it Matrix related?
I wish.
But it's going to be an upgrade from the launch PS4. Everything's going to get an upgrade.
Yeah.
This is why it annoys me. As Austin has told us, how long have these systems been out?
At least 3 years.
Okay, what was the life cycle of the other systems?
Well, let's see. When was Xbox out? Xbox 360.
I think close to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And even with the upgrade, like they never made a truly big upgrade until the
It
Slim,
was
which
like
was
2006. I think it's 2007.
yeah,
when
which was
Xbox-
halfway through their life cycle.
Right.
We've hit 3 years. They've not even hit halfway of this expected life cycle, and they're already
That's
getting.
pretty quick.
It
Yeah.
may also be due to just the advancements in technology. Because,
Actually, no.
Yeah.
That is why PlayStation 4 is making the Neo.
I also heard some things about E3. I don't know. I forgot to mention this earlier. At E3, I heard from a customer who was I was talking about like the VR stuff because at GameStop we have like the Samsung VR thing. We have like a demo for it.
Which is that worth it?
I took a
we
picture
haven't-
for you.
We don't have it fully set up yet. We're waiting on like
Couple.
the phone thing.
Yeah, I sent you that picture of the
yeah,
stand.
I want to go check it out.
Do it.
But this is why, with the VR, this is why I'm bringing this.
Hang on.
Well, at E3, he told me that Xbox might announce
Scorpio.
A system compatible with Oculus. I think
no,
I
that's
Oculus.
no.
Was it Oculus or was it?
Yes, you're right. I do remember hearing something about that about E3.
They're announcing something to do with Oculus.
Yes, they're going to try to make it compatible.
Really? I thought they were trying to make their own VR.
No, they're going to try to make the VR compatible with the console.
They had a partnership with Oculus. I think is what it is.
Hold on.
And it was Xbox, I believe.
Yeah, it should be. Should be Microsoft.
Oh, no, that's what the new system is called. Xbox One Scorpio. Sorry, that's why it was.
Is it anything to do with Mortal Kombat?
No.
I'm kidding.
But it does with us because you, me, and another person are Scorpios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, my wife, and you?
Yep, a Scorpio.
Are you a Scorpio?
No idea.
When were you born?
When we were born.
September 20th, 1996.
No, he's not.
I was about to say, I don't think he is.
Yeah, that's what it's called. So that's what Xbox One Scorpio is, the system. And that you are correct. That is why they're making these upgrades.
Because of the VR?
Because of VR. Because they, like...
Good.
A sort... No.
I love it because that means I don't have to build a big giant computer.
That means I have to buy another PS4.
You don't have to.
This is what I've heard.
I haven't bought a system since the PlayStation 2.
Yes, but you don't play games.
I will once VR starts coming out good.
Uh-huh. But the PlayStation 4, the launch one that I bought, I think you were there when I bought it, actually. When I bought one of the original ones, the launch title ones.
Right. Yep.
And they are not able to handle the VR spectrum. They are not able to handle VR. So they are making these new systems to be able to at least work on this style. Because supposedly the vision of it is 90 FPS.
Dang.
And it's like higher than 4K. It's like 2100 or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers. And that's for both eyes.
Wait. 4K is higher than 2100.
It's 21 times something. That makes it higher than 4K. It's 21 something something time by something something. Like 21 times 12, I think. I forgot what the numbers exactly, but it's higher spectrum where it's higher than 4K. And then you need that for both eyes. Remember,
so pretty much only if you want to play your VR on your console, get this new system.
Yes, no. It basically, you could try it on a PS4, but it will look towards a PS3 style gameplay.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Be better than PlayStation 2.
Well, there's a catch. You've not played the new systems. You've not seen how much they've changed.
The newest one I have is a 360.
Yes, you've not.
I didn't buy it though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You've not seen the difference between a PS3 and a PS4 graphic wise. You have, Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Think about going back to playing. Oh, you've seen an Xbox 360 to an Xbox One, correct?
Mm-hmm. And Battlefield 4, I remember, was just ridiculously different.
Now think about getting a VR. Yeah, I have VR, but think about going from Xbox One graphics to Xbox 360 graphics.
I mean, I think what they're really driving is, as I say, is the concept of VR.
And see, this is also the catch. Remember, I can't use the VR for that reason. So
what about augmented reality? Could you do that?
No, because I have no depth perception. I can't tell the difference. That's the thing. I mean, I would love it, but I have no purpose for it. You guys may get an advantage out of it. I wouldn't see the advantage.
Well, when you got to play with the Oculus Rift, you got to be able to see that, didn't you?
It enclosed me, so I got to feel it. But like when I walked, I kept bumping into stuff because I couldn't tell the distance of it. So I could get enveloped into the effect, so it would be great for movies and stuff like that. But I couldn't play a game because if it needs detail of how far away, I couldn't tell that well. So that's why it annoys me, because if I really want VR and I really want to test it, my system, which I bought 3 years ago, won't handle it. And now I have to buy a brand new system for that because, I mean, and VR, as I said, it's great. Everyone's loving it. We still don't know its longevity right now. It's still so young. So we don't know if it will keep improving or these will be it, because you have to think about it. If it's one of those that will keep improving, that means everyone who's bought an Oculus right now, most likely, if it's true to computers, by 6 months to a year from now, it will be obsolete. You have to buy the upgraded
Well, that's
version.
just technology alone.
Yes,
and it keeps getting faster and faster.
That's the thing with the systems. they're built to at least last for a while. They're built to have a standard to last. That's why I like getting a console. I don't need
same here.
Because you don't need to constantly upgrade. You don't need to buy pieces every 6 months. I mean, you saw that new graphics card. That in a year they're gonna have another graphics card. Then a year later they're gonna have another.
Or 6 months.
With VR though, I think I would jump on board if it needed new parts. I think that honestly, I think the VR is probably like the next biggest system. I don't think it's like the Wii at all because
it's a peripheral though. It's a peripheral though. It's not a system.
Peripheral.
Yes.
It's like an attachment.
It's an attachment
to enhance.
Yeah, to enhance the gameplay. It's not its own system. It's not. You need something to make it work.
Yeah, but it immerses you completely different than it does playing it on a TV.
I could see them releasing, a VR system entirely. I could see them doing that in the future.
Yeah, I could definitely see it.
Because, they've done that in our past, except it was a lot bigger and bulkier.
Yeah.
Remember those old, in the 2000s, that big old spear thing they put you in with the headset they lowered down?
The what's it called? That suit that has all like the detection balls things.
Yes, the mocapping.
Mocap, yep.
That's in a way a type of that. You just put that on a screen, voila, you're doing a full body VR experience.
Yeah, but technology is going to get better and more advanced and more smaller and stuff like that.
Yeah, but does that also mean that we're going to get lazier from it?
Possibly.
If I'm swinging a sword in this VR, I think my arms could probably be getting to work at. I don't know.
Unless you cheat it, or unless if you're just lazy.
Okay. Well, I could argue more about this, but I don't want to.
This is a tangent.
All right. So let's go to final thoughts. Any final thoughts?
Oof.
Anything just in your mind, or any news that you figured would be interesting to bring out?
I don't think I had anything. I'll double check.
Okay, well, one for me is that One Piece Gold got released in Japan in more theaters than Dragon Ball Z. So I laugh at you, Zach.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to bring up earlier was that the Cabineer of the Iron Fortress is getting an RPG or an MMORPG.
In China.
In China, though.
But it's still be an MMORPG. I'm an MMORPG.
You don't even know.
MMO junkie. So I was like, ooh,
I'm not.
I like the anime. I like MMOs. Hopefully that's cool.
Oh, did you hear that No Man's Sky got delayed?
Yeah. I think in our system it's not confirmed though at
Okay.
GameStop.
You know what I'm waiting for? We have to do it. We have to do a
not.
podcast about E3 because that's coming up in a week?
June. I think the big dates are like June 7th. June 12th and the 13th.
Yeah, we got to do a podcast about that because there's going to be tons of gaming news that we'll need to talk about from there because new systems, there are going to be more demos. All the big companies are going to be there. We're going to see some. And then we can predict which ones are going to live and which ones die because there's always a dozen games that they announce on that and that die. That just completely just go into.
Hopefully we see the NX.
Oh, well, they got to do something there because so many people are talking it. I want to see if they're really going to try to maybe make a new handheld.
Yeah. Well, I guess that kind of wraps it up for today then.
Yep.
Okay.
If you guys want to go listen to us on SoundCloud, you can go there and type in nerdL.A.G and you can find us there. I don't have my paper, so I'm going to freeball this. And if you want to go on to Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/nerdL.A.G. Was it nerdL.A.G or nerdL.A.G podcast?
I think it's nerdL.A.G podcast.
Anyway, try one of those. On YouTube, we are nerdL.A.G. Just type in nerdL.A.G. We have a channel there. You can find us and listen there. We have a website, but it is under construction at the moment, so you cannot get to it unless you just really try. Which you can go to wordpress.com/nerdL.A.G and try that or something like that.
Links in the description, of course.
Yeah.
Everything will be in the description.
Just scroll down, check that out, click those things right there. Click that.
And we're still on Google Play, and we're working on going to iTunes, so we'll see how that goes because, that's always a fun
I got a final thought before we head out.
What's the final thought?
For you guys listeners, I want to hear some comment from you guys. What should we start talking about? What should we do to make this podcast a little bit more enjoyable for you? We're thinking about doing video here soon because somebody recommended it, so we're probably going to start on that. Make this podcast you guys make us do what you guys want us to hear or what you guys want to hear. So if you guys are interested in free, just tell us and we'll start seeing updates about free or something. We'll keep you updated on that. Overwatch, we can probably talk about that stuff later down the road. You know?
Are you actually going to play a game and talk about it?
Yeah, I totally play that.
Okay.
But, just you guys give us some comments, talk to us, so that way we can kind of see what you guys are interested in and, mold us to what you guys want and make us better. Because we can only get better with you guys, and listeners are going to help us grow. So it's all on you guys. I'm Zach. I'm nerdy, dirty, and flirty.
You are really not well this morning.
No, I am worn out from the yard.
And remember, don't regret the things that you do, regret the things you don't. And join me on Twitch, YouTube, all that. Shinigami LDL.
Hey, Austin heading out. Probably need adult supervision.
There you go.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Meep.
See you.